Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I will be guiding you on this journey. And this journey is going to start with a yap sesh. I'm going to make an intro, basically, that I'll put at the beginning of all of the readings. Honestly, because I just cannot repeat myself 12 or 24 times. My throat and body refuse. So anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna put the timestamp in the description. So if you're just kind of like you can fast forward to when the reading actually starts. And it's actually kind of funny. Like I keep stutter. It's actually like I have a lot of energy in my body, and it's like it's all trying to come out at one time, and it's like making me stutter. I've had to redo this video. This is the fourth time so far, because it's like my mind goes faster than my mouth, and then I'm like confused. I'm like, wait, what am I saying versus like what am I thinking? Like, they're just like not lining up, which is interesting. Like there is actually a new moon in Sagittarius tomorrow, which is actually right on top of my Neptune. So maybe that's why. And it's a sixth house. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm like, I'll find a way to blame astrology for anything. So I'm hoping now that I said that out loud and that I got that energy out of me, that I can just kind of like ground myself and get through this so that we can get on to the readings. So I don't know what I've already said already, but I will put the timestamp in the description so you can fast forward to when the reading actually starts. The first thing that I want to yap about, or that I want to share with you, is that I've decided, it's like I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks, but I haven't actually said it out loud. So it like keeps coming out weird, but whatever, like, well, it'll come out right at some point. But there's an offering that I want to extend to you. It's a 2-card spread, or a 2-card draw. The first card is the door, which is, the obstacle, the path, the, thing that you're coming up against, the opportunity, whatever, that type of thing. All the things that we think about when we think doors, right? It's either opening, closing, anywhere in between. It's something to also like step through and have curiosity around. And then the second card is going to be the key, which is the guidance or advice for how to move through it. And it will be written, and it'll be $3.33. Basically, how it will work is that you will Venmo me $3.33 and provide your email address in the description. And if you don't feel comfortable putting your email address in the description, I will provide my email address, and you can send me a screenshot of the payment. And then, of course, I'll have your email address to respond to. I'm trying to make it like as least complicated as possible. And I think that like if you make the thing private, then nobody else will see your information anyway. It'll be obviously just between me and you. So anyway, $3.33. It's a 2-card spread. Once I receive your, notification of your Venmo, then I'll shuffle the cards. I'll pull 2 cards for you, and I'll write down basically like what comes to me. And literally anything that does come to me. So there's not necessarily like a limit on how long or short it's going to be. I do intend to get those back to you within 24 to 48 hours, or shorter than that. I'm just kind of giving myself a little bit of a buffer there. And I'm going to be offering these for basically as long as it feels good, like for as long as the energy is there. So I hope that made sense. If you have any questions, of course, leave a comment, or you can reach out to me as well through email. Like I'll have my email in the description. Instagram works too. But yeah, so that's the most important part. I'm glad I actually got it out this time, though, and I'm trusting that it makes sense. The other thing for this reading, we're going to be doing a what is ending and what is beginning. And I was kind of like stewing or whatever, with the thought of doing 2026 readings. And I was just kind of like it just didn't feel quite right. Like, I don't want to do like a 12-month overview, because who remembers that? Like, who remembers that? I couldn't even tell you if what I heard or saw like in any of the year ahead readings that like I listened to or watched in for 2025, right? So I don't want to spend a lot of time or even like dedicate a lot of time to going month by month. So then I was like, well, I could just maybe do just a general spread, what's coming, what's going, like what's going to be the overall vibe. That didn't quite feel. Anyway, it finally came to me last night that I'm sure you've probably heard in multiple places that 2025 is a 9-year, which is completion, right? And with that means that 2026 is a 1-year, which is obviously a new beginning. So it's, about clearing out cycles, what cycle is truly coming to an end, and what are we now, I want to say blossoming into, which is interesting. Like blossom never like crossed my mind, but it's like, what are we now I almost kind of like, I keep getting this image of like a waterfall of, it's literally just cycling into the next thing. Like it doesn't necessarily even feel like a big stop and a big start. But it's almost just like that, the natural progression or even transition. Like, what are we transitioning into? And I also, whoops, mother of pearl. I looked up like what were the last 9s and 1 years, right? So the last 1 year would have been 2017. And let me just give you an example for myself, because I also think it's really cool to just reflect on where you are, where you were, and also even just to kind of have like dates ish, or in this case, years, like, to think back to 2017, for instance, which was a 1 year. And what was going on for you in 2017, but also what was going on for you in 2016, because that would have been a 9-year, right? And for me, in 2016, I got married. I'm pretty sure I got married during a Venus retrograde, which is not good. And and I want to say maybe a Pisces eclipse. I want to say, I can't remember for sure, but whatever, that was 2016. In 2017, I left that marriage. I put down my soul dog, the dog that like grew up with me, basically, kind of, I got her when I was, I think I was 19 when I got her. And when I put her down, I was 30 something. I'm like, what's dang it, I keep hitting the wrong button. That is so annoying. Let's see. I can't do math that fast. 34. In 2017. I was actually 33. I had to put her down in April. My birthday was in May. And actually, 5 days after my birthday is when I separated from my husband. And then a week after that is when I moved out. Didn't look back. I moved 3 times. Let me see. 1, 2, 3 times within 6 months. I moved into the place that I've been in since then. Like, so I've been here for the last 8 years, 9, however long, however long that's been. And yeah. So that was my 2016 and 17 actually too, which is interesting, is that going back even further, 2008 would have been the previous 1 year. And in 2008, I got my first like college degree. I got an associate's in graphic design. I got my first like real adult job, which was terrible, but I was independent, on my own with that. And then, so, that would have been a 1 year. I got that degree. I got that job. I can't remember if like anything else major happened that year. I don't think so. I might have moved like closer to that job. I just can't remember if it was that year or the following year. But also, okay, so 2008 would have been a 1 year. Then 2016 was a 9 year, which would have ended, that cycle. And in 2016, I got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. So it's just kind of interesting how, within that period of time, I got like 2 degrees and also like really officially ended my college or, like continuing education or higher education career, basically, because I don't think I would go back I've thought about going back for like, like an ultrasound technician or like x-rays or, something like that. But I just don't think I can. So anyway, it's interesting, so yeah, I mean, this is also an invitation for you to just kind of reflect and, where are you now? Where have you been? Did anything major happen in those years? The 1 year prior to 2008 would have been 1999, which is kind of funny because there was like that whole Y2K, kind of thing that was like happening around that time. I mean, obviously that was, the year 2000, but it was like the freaking out, also Prince has a song, 1999, hello. The prior one would have been 1990, and then 1981, 1972, 1963. So basically, subtract 9 from there or add 9, whatever. But yeah, it's just kind of cool to look back and also even just to like kind of welcome in a fresh beginning and to recognize too, like where you are, and maybe there are patterns or relationships, behaviors, thoughts, jobs, careers, whatever, that you have released or healed, from, and that's creating the energy or allowing the energy for you to move forward, and like I said, like transition into something new. And also, like, I don't know if it is just me or if it's like a collective thing of feeling ready for it. Like, I think I mentioned maybe the curiosity thing, which I think curiosity also breeds excitement. Just like being open, trusting ourselves, really just staying connected to our own truth. So, I haven't quite like necessarily figured out what the spread is going to look like. I think what we're going to do is pull some cards for like what is completed. Maybe I should write this down. So one pile, what's completed or ending. It's not even like leaving. I think completed is a good word. And then pile 2 is what's I keep wanting to like write starting, like what's starting. But again, it doesn't feel like a stop start. And I just cannot think of the word that, like, I mean, transition is like coming through, but it's like, what is another word? And like, do we look up the thesaurus? What's unfolding? Taking shape. Coming into focus, maybe. Activating. Okay. I mean, we'll see what words end up finding their way in, like, once I'm shuffling the cards. But like, what are we, like, I keep also wanting to say like falling into, because like I was saying, I keep seeing this like waterfall. Which also like feels very Fool card. Taking that leap, going with the flow, trusting. Also even just the water thing with intuition, and even like trusting like those big emotions. And I'm thinking even too, like the actual waterfall part, right, where it's the water actually falling. That to me almost kind of feels like the transition part, right? Because it's kind of like there's a direction that the water is heading into, right? But there's not necessarily control of it either. There's a direction and trust. Like, so honestly, I even fucking love that. Wow. I think these readings are actually going to be beautiful, and I'm really excited to get into it. And also, I just want to say, how cute is this effing tarot bag, dude? I'm going to put the Etsy shop of the girl who creates these in the description as well. She has 3 different sizes of these. I only have this size, but I have 3 or 4 of these all in different fabrics, but this one holds like this size of a tarot deck, but it'll hold a larger one. Like it's almost like oracle deck size. But look at the, you can choose 2 different fabrics. I'll keep a deck in there, and then I'll keep a selenite wand in there also, which is, it's like perfect. There's a clip, oh, I'm obsessed with these. And they're not just necessarily for tarot decks, but also, like it holds its shape. Like, bro, look at this. So cute. So anyway, we're using the Light Seer Tarot because honestly, like this is probably like my all-time favorite deck. And I'm also so glad that it said yes to me to do these readings, because before every reading I do, for YouTube readings, I'll ask, do you want to do all of the readings? Because you got to do them all. But I shuffle the deck and either a yes card comes out or a no card. And I honor that, because we're all about consent over here. So anyway, I'm so glad that the Light Seers Tarot agreed to do these readings for us, because again, like I think that they're going to be beautiful. And I think that's all that I want to say for now. So let's jump into the reading. Great. So this is a reading for Capricorn. Wherever Capricorn is in your chart, that's the second time that we saw the Wheel of Fortune, but I don't take the cards seriously if they don't come all the way out of the deck, because we want commitment over here. We want the message to be clear. And if they don't come out all the way, I just don't think they're serious. And I've had that conversation with every single deck that I put my hands on. So everybody knows we're all on the same page. See, how many cards is this? That's way too many. We'll take 3. But happy birthday to Capricorns. I hope that things are going well. A full explanation, I guess, of the reading was at the beginning. How many cards is this? Look at all these cards in reverse, too. We have the 10 of Wands, the Empress, and the 5 of Pentacles. Although they're kind of like sideways, so we'll just kind of... We have the 2 of Swords. Just a quick recap. Over here is what was mastered in 2025. Over here is what is unfolding in 2026. Wow. 2 more cards for Capricorn. We have, we have the King of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. See, that's another reason why I'll just put the cards back, because if there's a message, it'll come out. If not, then, it just wasn't serious. So, over here, it's interesting that like we have Empress in the middle, right, of the 10 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles. There was definitely, I'm also like trying to remember some Capricorn readings. I know like there was some like that had to do with like grief and stuff. But I cannot remember, whatever, I can't remember what I say like 5 seconds ago, let alone months ago. But it is, so, the 10 of Wands talks about burden, burnout, overwhelm, but also it's a 10, it's a completion. And in this card, this person is, they've packed their wands up. They are heading out. And also, like, in this card, to me, at first glance, it looks like maybe they came down, this path. It's like being over the hump, right? But actually, what I always end up seeing in this card is that they were coming from, the left side here, and that this was an option of a path, but they chose not. They chose not to go. Because also, too, let's see, how many? 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, because they have 7 wands here, 3 wands up here, which is a 10 of wands. Maybe they did, come off of this path. Interesting. I'm glad we're talking about this. I literally never see this card this way. So I love that. I love that we're looking at it in a different perspective. I also love that they used their own wands to light their way. This is also even, it feels like marking, like when you, I don't know exactly like what it's called or whatever, but like when you mark a tree or you mark your path, just so that you've already been there. And that, like, if you end up circling around or something, right? Like if you end up somehow going in a loop, you can be like, oh, I've already been on this path. Now I'm in a loop, right? Like it really almost has like that kind of energy. Also, that all of these cards are coming out in the like reverse-ish. For me, when the top of the card comes out on the right side, it's working its way into reverse. If the cards were to come out with the top of the card on the left side, it's working its way into upright. I don't know. Like, that's just my own process. I don't know. Nobody's ever, but also I feel like reversals are like internal work versus like an external expression. So this could even be really recognizing things within yourself and almost just like, not wanting to circle back around to them, like not wanting to end up back in the same loop, or even recognizing too what things have been in a loop. And even just the message about being over the hump, I think is also very important. The Empress here is the divine feminine. It's like what you believe to be possible, what you are trying to build or create, or like give birth to, not necessarily in like a biological reproductive route. Maybe that is something that you have been considering, like expansion of a family. But we can see that she's pregnant, like with the world here. So truly like Mother Earth, right? Like truly Mother Earth vibes. But really it is like what you are trying to either give birth to, or where you are blocking possibility, blocking ambition. Because again, these cards are kind of working their way into reverse. And if it is an internal process of even your own growth, I'm just sitting here staring like at these cards. And I keep also, I mean, I keep looking at the Five of Pentacles, um, which is like scarcity and lack. But we can see, right, that there is this door. The key is on the inside of the door, at least, because I don't know if this is like a room or what, but there is opportunity here to like change circumstances. I almost kind of feel like a few different things really came to your awareness, like really was brought to like the forefront of your mind, even though like none of these cards are air cards. We have the Two of Swords out over here, but it's like it's recognizing what you need to like move away from, where there is some sort of completion with you putting your energy into it, but also like in a sense that you don't want to circle back to it. And maybe also even recognizing where there is a lack of possibility or like a lack of ambition. Yeah, it's like one of those things of like the soil being void of nutrients. So like how can you grow anything there? Like that type of feeling, whatever that is for you, whether that's a relationship, whether that's within yourself, and just having the level of energy that you do or the lack thereof, maybe even having a lack of direction. Again, like the burnout feeling or just feeling overwhelmed or burdened in some capacity. Like, is that what is creating the block, or just not feeling like optimistic for something that you can create? And too, like if that was some sort of like aha moment or some sort of like acceptance that you came to, um, even just naming it, even just recognizing, man, the soil here, the earth here is really pretty depleted. So like it's also like, why would I put my energy into something that has no potential for growth, whatever that is? Again, right? Like whatever that is for you. Because it, like there is still life here, right? Like there is still expansion and love and intuition and nurturing and wanting to receive and all of those like empress vibes, right? But then on either side of them is that like the energy that you're putting into it is not being reciprocated. The energy or the action, the motivation that you're putting into it is like just not going anywhere. Again, even with the pentacles, and that's the earth element. This is fire. The empress is Taurus and Libra. But with the Five of Pentacles, it's almost like it's taking more than it's giving, or it just kind of keeps leading you to these dead ends. And sure, there's a key there, but it's like, what is going to be on the other side of that? Like a whole bunch of nothing also. What I love about what's unfolding in 2026 is even though we start with the Two of Swords, I think the Two of Swords is probably just a like what is being left over, or you know, I keep hearing remnants in my head. Did I even say that word out loud? I don't know, but I think the Two of Swords is being created by, for so long, just kind of being in this energy of planting seeds in dead earth, like and dead earth is probably not like the right like term to use, but you know what I mean? Like it's planting seeds in soil that, again, like there's no nutrients, there's no minerals, there's nothing in there. So you could water it all you wanted to, and sure, maybe it would sprout, but it wouldn't actually grow into something that you want, So I think this Two of Swords is almost like being like hesitant, or like being wary, and also not wanting to continue this whole thing of focusing your energy into something that is just not like working out. However, though, behind the Two of Swords, because also like I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's two like she has her back turned, but there's a path going this way, there's a path going that way, and these crows are up here squawking around. Like, I mean, that would be really overwhelming. Like, could you imagine like just having two crows just screaming around your head? Like that would be very confusing. She doesn't seem to be concerned, though. And I think it's like one of those things amongst the noise. And maybe too that chaos has nothing on you. Like, it's like one of those things of like chaos isn't going to stop you. And maybe also like, like listening to loud music, or doing strenuous workouts, or it's like the clarity isn't going to come to you by meditating or by stopping, right? Like your clarity is going to come by almost like putting a lot of energy into something, whatever that is for you. It's like it's exerting, or even like moving your body in ways where there's almost like tension, or friction, and it's like, for whatever reason, like that could be part of your process of, that's where clarity comes. When you feel squeezed a little bit, or, when you feel like the pressure of something, like that's when your best work happens, like it could be something like that. Because, and also the reason why I'm saying that is because we have the King of Wands and we have the Wheel of Fortune behind, which are both Sagittarius cards. So maybe there was something that happened in Sagittarius season, since we just came out of that, where maybe you did feel a big squeeze. Maybe, maybe whatever this happened here, like with the hypothetical crows, where there was some sort of clarity that happened and you chose a path. And also too, with this King of Wands and this lion back here, which is very like Leo as well. But because I'm pretty sure that this is a Sagittarius card, the King of Wands, but there's kind of like this, first of all, it feels like divine guidance. Second of all, it feels like being pushed, you know, by life, by God, by source, by yourself, you know, whoever, whatever. And anytime I see this card come out, I'm always like, there is no turning back. I don't think necessarily that the King of Wands would, because, you know, it's the highest expression of the suit. There is confidence and a certain type of surety within yourself. It's taking all of these life lessons, all of these paths, everything that you have tried to do, everything that you did do, you know, everything that worked out and everything that didn't. It's, you know, compiling all of that into wisdom, and also even like trust in yourself, because you got through all of these. You're the one that was like making all of these decisions. You're the one that saw the growth potential here, right? Like, but you're also the one that recognized that what you were putting your energy into had no capacity to grow because of where those seeds were being planted. But yeah, like with this lion back here, it's like you have two choices. You can either keep moving forward, or you can turn around and start walking back towards the lion and it'll eat you. It might be friend shaped and, you know, fluffy and soft, but it's a wild animal, you know? Also, it's like something big enough to where you wouldn't want to, like if it was just like a little coyote or something, or, you know, I don't know, like something that's like less intimidate, like you know, like you're like, I could probably take it. You know, if I really wanted to head back in that direction, right? Like I'd take my chances, but not with a lion, you know, not with that. Like, that would truly be like the essence of like giving up. And that's not what this is about. But also too, like the King of Wands doesn't really seem to be concerned about the fact that there's a lion standing behind them. So it's almost like this, there is no turning back. I don't think you want to anyway. Not to mention we were talking over here, right, about the whole point of putting these wands here to like light your way, or even, you know, like marking certain trees, or, you know, whatever that whole example is, that you don't want to circle back. You don't want to revisit that. Like you want to move forward, which is also like what's happening with the King of Wands. And even too, like with this lion being back here, you know, and like I said, that's Leo. That's a strength card. That's bravery and courage, determination, perseverance. Like that is no turning back. That's literally choosing a direction, trusting, excuse me, what the hell? Trusting the lessons, the information that you have, the wisdom, trusting yourself, to move forward. And it's almost like the thing that is at your back, if you were to look in the rearview mirror, is a reminder of your courage and a reminder of your bravery and determination. It's like remembering your why, even. Why are you heading in this direction? Oh yeah, that's why. Right? Because this is the other option. It's like, you know, I'm either going to do the thing in front of me, or it's the thing in back of me, which I'm actively moving away from, right? Like what's worse, or what's less, or what's more uncomfortable, going backwards or moving forward? Going backwards would be more uncomfortable, because fuck that, you know? And the Wheel of Fortune, like this whole thing, it's like this whole process, like sure, maybe too, like you just can't necessarily intuit the direction, or like intuit, you know, like how it is actually going to unfold. the message is to literally just start taking action, which is honestly kind of funny because we were talking about that actually in the Sagittarius reading. So, I mean, maybe you have Sagittarius placements, or maybe you want to watch that and there's a message in there for you too. But it's literally about the point being to start taking action, get creative, like find, go towards the things that make you feel good, not obligation, not practical things. The only practical card that we have out here is the Five of Pentacles. And you'll start to see things shift. Like this energy over here that you've been in is definitely changing in 2026. But the caveat to that is that you have to start taking action. You have to like almost make the decision to focus your energy into a different direction. And you will start to see whether that's just, like your vibe, your outlook on life, whether that's just your life in general, like if things have been like pretty slow growing, you would definitely see growth happen much faster over here. Even to just your own ambition and your own motivation, and even, the things that do motivate you or inspire you, even that could possibly even change. Jupiter is going to be moving into Leo, which is interesting. We were talking about like the Strength card in Leo. That's going to be happening, I think, in June. So like wherever Leo is for you, which would be your 8th house, if you're a Capricorn rising, that's like big transformation. And what else? The occult, other people's resources, other people's money. It could be debt. Again, like, or right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I was like, wait, no, that's a 2nd house. No, that would be for Cancer rising. Sorry. Leo. Well, yeah, Leo is your 8th house. Okay. Just, like seeing some movement in those areas, or even, like a focus, not avoiding them too, even. Like whatever it is over here that has been causing the drain of energy, or the blocking of, or whatever that would be for you. And again, right? Like relationships, jobs, money, just, not having something to pour your energy into, just, kind of whatever, going through whatever that is. Over here, it's definitely changing, and it is going to take action from you. It is going to take you believing in yourself and trusting that wisdom that you have, trusting yourself, to be responsible and do that. Because again, like with the wheel being at the end here, even however things have been, they are going to change. I always see the Wheel of Fortune as being a good card, but it's kind of, like if things have been slow and stagnant, they're going to pick up. If things have been, quick, fast, just chaotic, it would be the opposite of that, right? Like it's going to change. So yeah, like what's unfolding here for you is a path, you heading in a direction, you focusing your energy in that direction, and you're going to watch things start to change. You're going to watch the wheels start to turn. And that's what has not been happening like over here. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.